Okay, so this is basically the breakdown of how the Fibonacci is set up, and we're going to put in here the four panels as they come in. So we'll go green for earth, blue for air. Actually, we'll go blue for I'm sorry, earth, green for earth, black for air, blue for water, and red for fire. So let's say first off you have in singularity you have our first panel, and we're going to call that earth. Our second panel, and by no means lesser, is air. We're going to make a slice across that, and a slice across the so this is X, Y, earth, air. And we have earth, air. And we have air, earth, and I call this is the so we have a male or an X, we have a female or a Y, so we have a 1, here we have 2, we have an X and a Y, or a F, and a male. Here we have a male plus female, or an X plus Y, and next we bring in fire, water, along with our earth, air, and this becomes the three-dimensional star tetrahedron. And this also then has this point. So because this is dimensional, four-sided plus four-sided becomes a 7 axes 8-point star tetrahedron, and that's what this is right here. I think you guys can see that. It'll be in the video in the beginning anyway. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So then this all comes together to make the star tetrahedron, like I'm saying. It has this point here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then on the back is 8. So you've got 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. And then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And our next move from 13 to 21. 21 is the width is the width of DNA. So as we saw in the earlier, so if 21 is here's 21, here's 34. So your Fibonacci sequence of life is, and this is not as a creator, this is as a recreator or a recreator. So this is not the claim to create life, this is the claim to maintain life, to perpetuate life, to recreate life in a damaged, diseased body. Then this is how this can happen. So or the birth cycle. So the birth cycle is 1, 1, X, Y, and actually it is male, female, so the male and the female cube or square exhale, or the hexahedron exhales, or the THCA exhales or decarboxylates, exhale CO2, and from that then we pick up 2 tetrahedrons, or the panels for earth or fire water, we pick up 2 fires. Those are actually made up of 4 panels, and as we dissemble from as we break down from our decarboxylation and then recarboxylate it back. So here we have our earth, air, 1, 1, 2 together. Fire, water brings our recarboxylation back together, and then we have a start T, or start. The star tetrahedron then spins up into the into the spiral of Fibonacci, continues in, and we get the Merkaba, or light of life, one ladder step of DNA. That happens virtually 140 billion times per day, 266 times. So 140 billion times 266 equals 37.2 trillion cells, and that's a human being. Then they're birthed, and then we go 7 years in this cycle while we recycle our cells. So we build up at 140 billion Fibonacci's a day to produce these ladder of DNA from the earth, air, fire, water that comes from the AGR or AGST out of the DNA whatevers. Kevin, that's where you come in. So however that we'll get this done, this is going to be attached. This is the cycle of life. This is the cipher for Fibonacci, for Platonics, for planier, for metaphysical, for physical, for tree of life, nutritional, visual, whatever. It is the cipher that ties everything together. Validates the Bible, validates Plato, so both of them are validated. The Christians and the Platonics can get together again, and it validates that Christ within is the solution, validates that 97% of our DNA is unused, and this is what I've tapped into, and this is the evidence that Christ within is the solution, that the truths are self-evident, and that's the access of an additional, this produces out at, this keeps going up, so we end up at a 64 by 64 in the pineal. That gives us 4,096 dimensions, which then expand out at 4,096 for something like 75,000 dimensions or something like that. So we're born into 3D at 266 days, okay? We're born into, finish this out, at 266 days, that equals 3D, the third dimension. Unconscious, unaware, physical, skin suit, flesh form human. That's it. Unconscious, unaware. 4D is consciousness and awareness, and then you discover that 5D is reality, and once you realize that 5D is reality, you realize 3D is perception is reality, and then you have 6D, and that is the key and the cipher, which is what I'm doing right now. This might be 6 through 12, I'm not sure, but then from there on up, you go up, and there's at least 4,096 in the mind. So this is out of the heart. Then the mind goes up to fourth, so you got 12 dimensions in the heart, 4,096 dimensions in the mind, beyond, and then potentially 4,096 times 4096 for like whatever that number is. I mean, it's a crazy number. Anyway, that's how all this stuff goes beyond. But regardless, back at this stuff here and into here, up to into 21 and 34, that is human life. And so again, this is 21, 34, and that is that's the tie-in of Fibonacci sequence into Platonics, into THCA with CO2, which brings us over into our tetra, or THC. So that validates out, and then for Plato and Plato's cosmology, then that breaks out at E equals 8F, and there's a trademark on that. That's a term of mine. And then B equals B equals 8A, and this is Earth equals 8 fire, and B equals 8A is isosceles versus scalar, or no, I'm sorry, I think it's scalar versus isosceles, or isosceles, or whatever it is. It's Plato's cosmology, one triangle or the other. It's 8 corners versus that. So that's how all this stuff ties together, the whole cipher and everything, the cipher. And this is the key right here. This key validates Plato. All this validates the Bible. This validates cannabis is the tree of life. This validates biological life. Validates Plato. These faces are all going to come in on the DNA, whatever the DNA stuff is. I don't know what that is. I'm going to ask Kevin about that. I think they're A, G, S, T, and so these 4 faces here. So earth, air, fire, and water will have an equivalent of one of these, whatever these bases are for the DNA, and then from that, where these 64 codons come in somehow that produce this 4096, which I've created. I think that number. Anyway, that number works up in the pineal. So there's obviously this connection here. There's this connection here. I'm trying to figure out is, can we pull an equivalency from the DNA bases over to the earth, air, fire, water, which are also then, this is THCA, this is a destin, this is THC, and this is H2O. So with all that, there's you can see the tie-in between these bases here, those 4 bases, and the 4 whatever these are. So anyway, peace. Hopefully everybody understands this stuff. If not, ask questions. See you. Bye. Thanks.